Good morning, class. In today's lesson, we're going to discuss about introduction to computers. And before we can proceed with our class, Becky, are you in class?
Yes, I'm in class, sir.
Okay. I can also see Cyrus is in class. Okay. So I hope I can see the rest. So I hope you had a wonderful morning. And as we proceed to this class, we're going to discuss on introduction to computer networks. That is a course that we are going to cover. So when we talk about computer networks, we are also going to check on what we are supposed to be doing first before we can set up a computer network. And in it, we are going to identify some of the network components. Becky, can you be able to name some of the components that are used in computer networking?
Yes, I can mention some.
Okay, can you, from the picture, which one can you identify?
You can see the router.
Mm-hmm.
We have also the computer and the nodes. That is the computer connected to the network.
Okay.
Also, we have the switch.
Mm.
Also, we have the cables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So I think those are some of the components that we can have. So when we talk about a network, we normally talk about the devices that are being connected, and then we have other peripheries such as the router, we have the switch, we have the cables, we have the and very many other components. And for this case, before we can start even setting up the network, there are some of the blueprints that we need to identify before we can do that. And one of the things that we need to do before setting up a network is conducting what we call the site survey. So under site survey, we are assessing the user needs and also the data flow. Another consideration is on the network components. So the network components, we are trying to check which are the components that are best fits the type of network that you are trying to create. So for example, some of the components we'll consider include routers, switches, access points, and cabling. We have also the design development. So the design development here will come based on the type of the network and the site. So you will consider a very a good topology that you will use to ensure that you provide a maximum uh, network coverage within a place. And then when we move now to the next part, we have what we call we are connecting the network devices. So after identifying all those factors, we move into connecting the network devices. And under this, there are also considerations that we have. What do you see under these considerations that we must consider before connecting network devices? Bas?
Okay. For me, I can see you have to consider the tools and the
Tools.
boost.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, we normally consider tools uh, whenever we are doing network setup. And then, sorry, Doreen, I'm seeing your hand is up.
Okay, sorry, I forgot. I wanted to mention that.
Okay,
Yes, what Rebecca has just said. Yeah.
okay, Thank you. So we have also we have consideration on standard and compliance. So whenever you are buying devices to be used in networking, you ensure that they are adhering to the national and international regulation. And then you must also ensure that in the case of cabling, they should be actually, you ensure that their connectivity is tested so that they are not faulty, or maybe they might cause interruptions while performing networking. What are some of the tools that we normally use in networking? Doreen, what are some of the tools that we use whenever we are performing networking?
Okay, we have the clipping tool.
Aha, we have the crimping tool. What's the purpose of a crimping tool?
Clipping tool can be used to attach some of the cables together on the network cables.
Ah, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So a crimping tool is a device that is used to connect the cables to the connectors, or what we call the RJ45. Then we have another tool that we call the punch down. So the punch down terminates network cables into the wall jacks or patch panels. So in the case where you are having an office setup for networking, you use the punch down to terminate such kind of cables that would be used to connect to the wall. And then we have another instrument that is called a cable tester. What's the function of a cable tester?
I think the function of the cable tester is to use to test the internet cables if they are working well.
Thank you very much. I think you have a good understanding on some of these devices, and they will be part of your day-to-day in job, because if you will be taking and you will be having an interest in networking, these are some of the tools that we will be having along. Then we have also what we call a multimeter. So a multimeter is used to actually test if the frequencies or the currents are being uh, traveling in a way that is not being disrupted. Then I like us to see these last two devices, then we can end our lesson for today so that we can catch up the next time. So we have what we call uh, cutters, strippers, and pliers. So these are some of the tools also that we use for cable preparation. And then we have another device that we call TDR, or time domain reflectometer, which locates faults in copper cables. So these are a basic introduction that is very necessary for us, so that even as we dive into understanding networks and performing some networking, we have basics into this lesson. Do we have anyone who has a question?
Yes, sir, I do have a question.
Okay, you can ask.
Okay, since we talked about the networking,
Mhm.
do we have some different types of a network?
Different types of networks.
Yes.
Okay, from the class, who can help us to maybe mention just but a few types of network topologies that we have? Ah, so maybe I can help. So I can only name two or three different types of network topologies. Under network topologies, we have what we call the bus topology. We have the star topology, and we have the mesh topology. So those are some of the few topologies. I hope you can, as we proceed, you can do some more research. And then in our next lesson, we are going to see more about that. So I think we can end our class there so that we can catch up in our next class. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.